Good evening. Good evening and welcome to our 21st Century Community Education Forum. Last year, this event was the first of its kind, and backed by popular demand, we are excited to have you here participating in our discussions this evening. Tonight's event is streaming live on our website, and just as I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to those of you that we have here in the audience this evening at Centennial High School, I'd also like to say hello to those who we have joining us following the streaming online. I'm Danielle Airy. I'm the district's director for public relations. We're thrilled to have you here with us this evening to engage with us on the work that's going on for our 36,000 students on 40 of Peoria Unified's campuses. Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to introduce you to some special guests who we have here with us this evening. We have members of our governing board who have joined us. I'll begin with our governing board president, Mr. Hal Borhauer. Our governing board clerk, Mr. Joe McCord. I think I may have seen Mr. McCord come in. He may not have made his way with us. We will certainly get him in a moment. And then our governing board member, Mrs. Diane Douglas. Governing board member, Mrs. Kathy Connect. Governing board member, Mr. Eddie Smith. Thank you for being here with us tonight. Also, our superintendent, Dr. Denton Santarelli. Our deputy superintendent, Dr. Heather Cruz. And our chief financial officer joins us from the back of the room. Mr. Michael Finn is with us tonight as well. In addition, we have many of our administrators, our high school and elementary school principals and assistant principals who are here with us tonight. We want to thank you very much for giving up yet another evening out of your busy schedules to be here with us, and we appreciate your time. I'd also like to thank Centennial High School for graciously hosting us again this year. They do a fabulous job with the hospitality. How about a round of applause for the wonderful students who greeted you when you came in this evening? Those are our NHS students under the leadership of Barb Saunders. Also, a special thank you to Chris Lopez-Lear, the principal here at Centennial High School, and her team. We very much appreciate all that you do for us. I'd also like to thank Mr. David Colley, who runs the sound for us and the video production, and he's got a team of students that are here with us as well who are helping out with that, so we certainly appreciate them, all the students who chipped in to make sure that this event went very well for us this evening. I want to take just a moment to go through our schedule of events for you. You should have received a half sheet of paper when you walked in outlining our agenda for this evening. You will get some brief remarks from Superintendent Dr. Denton Santarelli. We'll then go ahead and move to our breakout sessions where you'll have an opportunity to provide valuable input that will be used as we make future decisions. We held this event last year and you provided many wonderful pieces of information that we were able to take back, and I know Dr. Santarelli will share a couple of those with you as well. Couple of housekeeping items for those that are joining us here at Centennial High School. We do have some water for you right outside of the auditorium doors. There's also some restrooms for you out there as well. Without any further ado, I am very pleased to turn it over to someone who might be one of the most dedicated supporters of public education and of students in the Peoria Unified School District. Please join me in giving a very warm welcome to Dr. Denton Santarelli.
Well, thank you very much, Danielle, and certainly welcome to everyone. We appreciate your support for what we do. There are many things going on this time of year, and every time we have an event, we are very appreciative of those that are here, so thank you. I will take just a few minutes and get into some introductory comments, but before I do, I'd also like to recognize someone who's joining us this evening, the police chief from the city of Peoria, Chief Roy Minter. Chief, thank you very much. If you've been around our district for any amount of time, you're very aware of the wonderful relationship we have with the city of Peoria, and certainly the support that we receive from the police chief and the officers is much appreciated. So thank you for joining us this evening. We appreciate it. Let me just jump through the presentation here quickly, and thank you, Aaron. I'll go ahead. I'd like to start this presentation with this slide. This is a slide from the very first day of school this year, and it depicts 3 of our students entering that very first day. And all of the expectations, the hopes, the dreams, the aspirations that this picture represents is certainly why we are all gathered here, and we're certainly gathered in a way that we can strengthen an already pretty good system. We have many points of pride in the Peoria Unified School District. Many of you have seen a lot of these through the years, but certainly we're very proud of the number of students that receive state and national recognition. We're extremely proud of those perfect ACT scores, the Flynn Scholars. Last year, the United States News Magazine rated every one of our district high schools, as you can see, as tops in the nation, and that's quite remarkable. We continue to have wonderful financial accounting and transparency. We've been recognized for many years in a row for the work that our financial team does, and certainly we were the first district in the state of Arizona to receive the advanced debt accreditation just last year. We're also very proud of the fact that we were labeled an A school district. And that's no small feat. A handful of districts, particularly unified districts across the state of Arizona, receive this label. We know that does not happen by accident. It happens through countless hours of hard work and dedication, planning, hard work of teachers and staff, and certainly a very supportive community, and we enjoy that each and every day. A note on our recent application for the Federal Race to the Top grant. You may have heard that as a district we have decided to apply after about 6 weeks of very diligent work and lots of support from our staff and community. We actually put that in the mail today ahead of the deadline. The federal deadline is October 30th, and we FedEx that just this afternoon. We're anxious to see how we fare in regards to that. I spent a lot of time deliberating whether or not we should apply. And each and every person that I spoke to in the organization and outside of the organization was very supportive and said you should apply as a district. Not only was the financial impact pretty significant, approximately 30 to 40 million additional dollars over the span of 4 years if we're successful, but the kinds of things that they're asking for at the federal level in this race to the top process is very, very close to the kinds of things that this district has been involved in for a number of years. So we believe we will have a very competitive grant. We're excited to hear in December how we fare, and we're appreciative of all the support. We reached out to the mayors of the cities for which we represent, to a city. They were very supportive, and at the state level, State Superintendent Huppenthal praised Peoria for being the type of district and the caliber of district that should compete very favorably. Most of you are very aware of the magnitude of the Peoria School District. We're a large system, one of the largest unified districts in the state of Arizona. We certainly have the pleasure of educating nearly 37,000 pre-K through 12th grade students each and every day. We have 40 schools spread out across this district of nearly 150 square miles, very diverse student population. We pride ourselves on the diversity. We're also very proud of the multiple opportunities that we provide students and parents through our signature programs, as well as the rich programming on all of our campuses. This is a figure that you've heard me address every time I'm in front of a group, and this is something that I take personal pride in because it is a direct reflection of our community and all of the hard work of our staff and leadership of our governing board, support of our community. A 93% graduation rate. We've been hovering in that 93, 94% range for the last 3 years. nationally, the graduation rates, as you know, hover around 70%. This is certainly something to be proud of. One of the highest graduations, not just in the state of Arizona, but in the country. At the beginning of each year, we spend time talking about the initiatives and areas of focus for the new year. And we continue to emphasize instructional quality each and every day throughout the system. And we continue to put together a system that provides the kind of supports for teachers in the classroom that will allow them to maximize the quality of instruction that they can deliver in their classrooms. We know without a doubt that the greatest impact on student achievement is what happens between the teacher and the students in the classrooms. Instructional quality continues to be one of our areas of focus. You've heard much about the transition to Common Core, the notion of college and career readiness, and the impact that that change has on curriculum, has on assessment, has on professional development. And we've continued to work to make sure that we are prepared for that transition. Attract, retain, and reward our employees. I know that this is something that is very integral to our success. We're as good as the people that we employ. Our students are as successful as the skills and abilities and talents of the people that work with them and support those that work with them. This continues to be an area of focus for our governing board, and each and every year they are very involved in making sure that I am and the system is doing everything we can to continue to take care of our employees, keep our employees, and attract the best and the brightest to Peoria. Fiscal responsibility, boy, we've had to tighten our belts, as you well know, each of the last 4 or 5 years to levels that have been unprecedented. We've reduced our budget by over 24% in the last 4 years. We continue to look at ever creative ways to be efficient with our dollar and to maximize what we do for our students. So those are just 4 of the broad areas that we continue to work on are reflected in our areas of focus for this year. You know, this is an interesting time of year, not just because of all the exciting things that are going on our campuses, but it doesn't take too long for us to hear about the campaigns that are going on across the state, in our communities, and certainly at the national level. These elections are of significance, as they always are, but there are a couple of items that are of particular significance to us here in Peoria this year. Our governing board voted 5-0 to take this bond question out to our community this year. This is the first time that we've approached a bond election in this district that I can recall where we're not asking for dollars to build new facilities, yet we're asking for money to maintain the ones we have. No secret that the state has not been able to keep up with the renewal monies that districts rely upon to take care of basic maintenance, to take care of basic upkeep. Much like our homes, we know that if we do not pay attention to those things, it doesn't take very long for the costs to escalate quickly in order to bring them back into order. So on the ballot, we are asking our community to support a bond election in our district, and we're also very hopeful that not just the maintenance of our facilities, but the opportunity to add much needed technology to a system. We continue to hear, and we heard last year during our community forum, the importance that technology plays in the lives of our young people. And the only way that you can continue to provide those opportunities is to be able to have some level of funding source. The state has not provided capital funding to the degree that would allow us to provide those opportunities into the future. The other item on the previous slide was this Proposition 204. And I'm sure that everybody in this room has had opportunity to take a look at that proposition. This slide depicts kind of an interesting range of revenue streams that we're trying to plan around for next year. And it's a bit of a guessing game, but early information that we have on the 204 initiative is that if it is successful, that it would in fact bring approximately, and this is depicted on the very right side in the black column. You may not be able to see the numbers, but if that initiative is successful, the dollars that we're anticipating are approximately $21 million into the system. The other thing that's interesting about that dollar amount is that even if it does come to pass, does not take us back to where we were before the budget reductions started back in 2008. So even though it sounds positive and encouraging, it still does not quite get us back to where we were. The middle graph there, bars say no change, and if the funding from the state is exactly as it was this year, we're still looking at a shortfall of over $3 million going into next year. So that's the middle one. And then the orange on the far left is if the 204 does not pass. Here again, this is a number that's quite large, $26 million of lost revenue over this year. There's some variability in some of this, but this is based upon the best information that we have. As you can see, the challenges of preparing a budget that ranges from plus 21 to minus 26 is pretty significant. The only thing I can equate that to is that our community in the last couple of years authorized an M&O override in this district, and we're very appreciative of that, and we've enjoyed that support through the years. The total dollar amount of the M&O override was about $18 million. So you can see the magnitude of those numbers in relationship. In addition, the programs and the supports of those programs are very similar if we have to start to make reductions to the ones that we actually had authorized through the M&O override. Shortly, you will be receiving our annual review. We believe that as part of our work, we need to continue to reach out to our community and keep them informed. A couple of years ago, we streamlined our annual review to just a couple of pages front and back with a reference to our website. A complete review was on our website. Some of the high spots you can look for in the mail. That should be hitting sometime next week, if I'm not mistaken. I'd also like to continue to invite anyone and everyone to our Patron Tours. You'll continue to hear things about our district. We initiated this actually award-winning Patron Tour several years ago, and we found that it's very well received. It gives those who attend a first-hand look at what's happening in our schools on a daily basis. You can see the dates here, November 2nd. We'll start in the morning, visit Centennial, and then head over to Desert Harbor, so that's always a nice opportunity. And as I said, this was the recipient of a National School Board Association Magna Award last year, so we're pleased with that, and we'll continue to offer that. Invite your friends and neighbors. Community engagement is very important to our success. We know that as a school district, we have to be in touch and in tune with the expectations of our community. This and many other activities are our opportunities to make sure that we are receptive and listening. We'll continue to gather feedback and answer any questions that you have, and we'll share the results of what we did last year. We had an opportunity last year to gather feedback. We actually posted that feedback on our website. We've also planned around that. Some of the high-level things, one of the areas that we heard loud and clear is that we really want to continue to elevate our focus on character development. And many of our plans around this year have escalated those programs across the campuses through character counts, capturing kids' hearts, very responsive in that regard. Tax credit was something else that we heard. You know, can you make it easier for us to donate tax credits? Can you find a way that will get the word out to a broader audience? And I'm pleased to say that as a result of that interest and our follow-up and lots of hard work from many people in this room, last year we had the highest collection of tax credits, and we also were able to allow tax credits in an automated way. I remember Mrs. Airy and her team, even on December 31st in the parking lot at the district office, they had their laptops out there, and they were even collecting credit card contributions as people drove through. So that was certainly something that we heard loud and clear. We continue also to hear about how technology, and I mentioned that earlier, but technology is certainly something that we know we need to continue to build in an integrated way, and not just technology for technology's sake, but how can technology lever increase learning and maximize the abilities of our students to be prepared once they leave us. And obviously a big part of our bond is tied very closely to that message of we need to do more with technology. This year, as we did last year, we asked our community for topics of interest. This is just a slide, and I don't know if you can see it very well, but budget, college and career readiness, communications, school calendar, start times, signature programs, dress code. You can see the entire list. And for efficiency's sake, we've lumped some of these into common categories, and shortly we'll be breaking out into our sessions. Budget, strategic plan. We are in about the 8th year of a strategic plan that's we're hoping to revision. Safety, school schedules, and there's a lot that falls into that category. If you've signed up for that, you'll hear more about that. And then Common Core, which very closely mirrors the work around curriculum and college and career readiness. I'll end with this slide. I started with the students entering our doors on the first day. This is a picture of students exiting our doors on their last day at the graduation ceremonies that we hold each and every year. Similarly, with the students that you saw, as they had hopes and aspirations and dreams of what school was going to be like for them, these young people have hopes and aspirations and excitement for what their future holds. And it has been our mission and continues to be our mission to make sure that we're not just preparing them to graduate, but we're preparing them to be successful in life after they graduate. With that, I'll turn this program back over to Mrs. Airy, who happens to be right behind me, door number 1. Thank you very much for being here this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Santarelli. I think one of the neat aspects of this event is not only does it provide an opportunity for our community to come together, join us here at the event, or of course online, but it also provides Dr. Santarelli the opportunity to give what I'd call a kind of a state of the district update, and we really appreciate getting that additional information from you, Dr. Santarelli. Thank you. We're going to go ahead and move into the next section of our event this evening, and when you walked in, you may have noticed you received a color-coded name tag. You were able to select the group that you wanted to participate in this evening in order to provide your feedback. And so in just a moment, I'll dismiss you to go ahead out through our auditorium and to find a seat at a table so that you can begin that process. I will go ahead and dismiss my facilitators and the recorders or the note takers that we have here with us this evening. So if you would make your way out to your table, we want to make sure that they're waiting at the tables to greet you when they get out. So we'll send them on their way. And again, I want to walk through the colors for you, so that you'll know when you're looking at your name tag. If you received and selected the red color, that is the Common Core. Yellow is strategic plan. Green, school schedules. Blue, budget, and purple is safety. So we do have some volunteers to assist you, but you'll head back out through the auditorium and find a seat at the table, and then the facilitator will guide you through that process. For those of you who are joining us online, you can go ahead and open a new window. You can go to the district's website and select join our breakout sessions. From there, you'll be prompted and you can select one of those 5 sessions and you can participate online as well. We have an administrator that is scheduled to be with each of those sessions, and it will provide you some guidance so you can participate right from the comfort of your home or any of your electronic devices and participate that way. So at this time, we'll dismiss the rest of you to go ahead back out through our auditorium, find a seat at the table, and we'll be back with you momentarily. Well, welcome back. We are pleased to have you back. Hopefully you had time in your breakout session to share some good ideas, maybe talk a little bit, maybe ask some questions that you didn't quite know the answer to just yet, and hopefully your facilitator was able to guide you, or if not, we recorded that, and we will certainly be compiling all of the information, all of the good feedback that we received from those sessions. I want to take just a moment while we're ushering those last few people into the auditorium and into the seats to remind you, if you are joining us here live in person, to please fill out the reverse side of the agenda that you received when you came in. There is just a very brief survey there for you, and we hope that you take just a few moments to give us some feedback, both on this event and any additional ideas. Maybe there's something that came to you that you didn't have an opportunity to share in your group. Hopefully you can share that on the agenda, and then we'll have some volunteers as you exit that will be taking those from you and putting those away. We are going to move on to the Q&A session that we have. We have a very esteemed panel up here before you. I'm going to go ahead and introduce them again to you in case you didn't get an opportunity to see their faces the first time. We have our Governing Board President, Hal Borhauer, Governing Board Member, Mrs. Diane Douglas, also Governing Board Member, Mr. Eddie Smith, and Mrs. Kathy Connect. We also have our Superintendent, Denton Santarelli, Deputy Superintendent, Dr. Heather Cruz, and Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Michael Finn. So certainly they have a wealth of knowledge and can hopefully respond to any questions that you may have. Those of you who are joining us live in Centennial in the audience, we do have 2 microphones that are set up on either of the aisles. If you have a question, you'd like to go ahead and step forward to that microphone. I know we have received some via social media, and I have a couple to kick things off as well. So in the meantime, we'll get to our questions. If you have a question you'd like to share with any of the members of our panel here, please go ahead and make your way to those microphones, and we'll go to you with that question here momentarily. I'm going to go ahead and kick things off, and I'll move over to those of you up here, and any of you can jump in. Maybe there's something that you heard from the session that you joined in, maybe an insight of some sort or some piece of feedback that you received in those sessions that you might want to share with our group.
Everybody's looking at everybody else. Well, I sat in on the Common Core discussion with some parents and some staff members, and I think it was very enlightening. I suppose to the audience that's watching online, the main thing you need to understand is probably education in the future is going to be maybe more of a narrower focus with kids learning at an earlier age and a more in-depth look at things they learn application-wise in the Common Core. And of course, there'll be a new testing standard with the PARC Consortium of 26 states coming out in 2014. So my recommendation would be to go online to our website and maybe the Department of Ed's website and begin to learn about Common Core standards, because they're here and they're in your students' future.
Very good. Any of our other members have any snapshots they want to share? Well, Mr. Finn, go to you.
I do. Not that I'm competitive, but I think I did have the best table out there. I'm just saying. No, I just wanted to say that not only did people come prepared to have a great conversation about some of the budgetary issues that are going on. One actually went online and did research on their suggestion and their idea and brought the research and left it with me to look at. So I just wanted to thank the community for their input and how serious they took it, and they actually, provided some phenomenal information at the table, so I just want to thank them for that.
That's wonderful. A little homework for you as well to go through that maybe over the next few evenings, so thank you. That's great. Mr. Finn, I'm going to go ahead back to you again and have a question. We've received certainly quite a bit of phone calls and have heard from our community. Many may have noticed when they received their tax bill recently from the previous year that it looked different than it has in the past, and in fact that their taxes had increased with relation to the district. And I'm hoping you can shed just a little bit of light on that. There's a good reason for that, and if you could explain that to those in the audience and also for those that are online, we'd appreciate it.
Yep, I would be happy to. I also want to mention that we did post some information out on the website, on the PUSD website, that helps explain it a little bit better, perhaps, than I might be able to in this very short amount of time. And there's some graphs out there to help explain it to you. It's on the very front page of that. If you click on tax information, it'll take you right to frequently asked questions, as well as some graphs to help explain what I'm about to share with you. But I have received a lot of calls on the taxes, and specifically the change is that taxes went up year over year. And the reason for that is when we analyzed the amount of cash that we had in our debt service, last year we felt that we had more than enough cash and we could give that back to the taxpayers in this particular year. That's where it belongs. And we actually pushed the tax rate down last year significantly. And so when the new tax bills came in this year and people did a year-over-year comparison, they said, oh my gosh, it's gone up, 160% for Peoria A bonds. And that's because all of the cash that we pulled out of that debt service, the county applied to the principal and interest due on those A bonds. They got a little bit of a sticker shock. But if people look back to the previous few years and compare this year to the previous few years, you'll see that it's relatively consistent. And I am a taxpayer in this district, so I have my tax bill sitting right in front of me when I talk to people on the phone to be able to say, this is how much I paid in 2010, this is how much I paid in 2011, and this is how much I'm paying in 2012. And you can see how it took a very large drop last year, and it's just come back up, not as high as it was the previous year, but it has come up again because we did use about every dime of that cash that was available to help offset that for the taxpayers last year.
Good point of clarification for our community. I think Mrs. Douglas, you mentioned you had something you wanted to add.
Yeah, I just wanted to add a little bit to that, because I too, Mr. Finn, had a lot of questions, and I asked the question in the board meeting hoping that the information would get out to the community. And I've talked to a lot of people in our district about it, because a lot of people had that sticker shock when they opened and explained to go back. And I told them how proud I am to be part of a district, part of a government entity, because it is so rare that when government gets your money, it actually gives it back. So I was so proud that we were able to do that, and to be able to now share that with our community and really bring them good understanding of that the right thing really happened for the right reason, and I thank you very much for that.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Thank you, Mrs. Douglas. And again, that information is posted on the district's website from the homepage of the website. Right under district announcements, there's a link to budget. So hopefully those who didn't catch all of it are able to go back and look at that Q&A. I'm actually going to turn it over to the back of the room. As you know, we have the ability to receive questions from our community through Facebook and Twitter. So we very much appreciate those who are tuning in online and participating that way. And we have received a question, I believe through Facebook. So we have part of our public relations team in the back of the room, and I'm going to ask Erin if she could jump on a mic and share a question with us.
Thank you, Danielle. The question we received is, why doesn't Ironwood High School have a school resource officer?
Why doesn't Ironwood High School have a school resource officer? Very good question. I'm looking at the panel, and I see Dr. Santarelli motioning towards the mic, so I'm going to go ahead and go to him.
Thank you, Ms. Zari. Good question, and certainly a number of us could answer it. Certainly, school resource officers, we believe, provide vital support and service for our school communities. We've had the good fortune of having the support through the city of Peoria, and Chief Mentor has a strong belief system in support of school resource officers. We've had great support. We partner with the city of Peoria in how we fund those officers on our campus. So I know that as superintendent, I'm very supportive of the program. I know that our board is. We've continued to try to work with the city of Glendale. We're certainly all aware of some of the challenges the city of Glendale is facing, so I don't think it's an indictment necessarily on the city at all. It's just a reflection of some of the economic challenges that they're facing and how do they prioritize their resources. So certainly we're going to continue to work with the city of Glendale. There was a point in time where we could partially fund SROs through some grants. Unfortunately, and actually we did have an SRO at Ironwood and Cactus at one time that was primarily supported through some grants that we collaboratively wrote with the City of Glendale. Unfortunately, with the downturn in the economy, a lot of those grant opportunities disappeared. Henceforth, we lost the SROs on those campuses. We're committed to continue to pursue that with the City of Glendale, and we're hopeful and optimistic that as things change, perhaps we can add SROs to those campuses. We may have other comments from others at the table.
I think Mrs. Douglas has something she wants to add. I'm going to go to you in just one moment, Mrs. Douglas. I want to remind everyone in the audience, if you do have a question, if you want to make your way to the mic, we'll be going to the microphones next, and Mrs. Douglas, we'll go to you.
I was just going to talk about some of the things that Dr. Santarelli did. My daughter was a 2005 graduate of Ironwood, and I do remember the days that we had SROs on campus. So I think we need to continue to make that a strong priority with our district in trying to work with Glendale and see if we can't get some new grants that may come down the pike. And I would encourage the person who sent in the question to remain ever vigilant and keep working on that and talk to their council people and see if there's not a way that we can find and develop a partnership, because it's very important. It had a huge impact on that campus.
Ms. Ari, just a point of clarification.
Sure.
Sorry, Mr. Smith. We do have 4 of our high schools that reside in the city of Peoria. 3 of our high schools are in the city of Glendale, for those that are viewing online or unaware of that. Thank you.
Yes. Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Ms. Ari. And I was just going to maybe look at it in another way. At one time, you know, as most people know, I'm a captain with the Glendale Fire Department, and at one time we had in the Peoria School District elementary schools, we used to have fire pals that would go into the schools and would teach fire prevention, how to call 911, stop, drop, and roll, all those little things as safety measures for our youngest students. I'm not sure if Peoria was able to do that then, but because of budgetary cuts, we can no longer provide that service. So you can see why the city of Glendale, if we can't provide fire pal services, you can see why it'd be tough without grants and other pursuing other opportunities that we'd be able to provide SROs in those same Glendale campuses.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. I'm being told by sources that our panelists, if you could speak up just a little bit, they're having a tough time hearing you out there. I see no one that's lining up at the mic willing to approach our panel with another question. I do know we got one more in from social media, and I think I'm going to go to Aaron in the back of the room just one more time to share another question.
Thank you. When does the planning begin for the new strategic plan, and how can people get involved?
Looking down at Dr. Santarelli, you want to take that one?
Yeah, thank you. The planning for the strategic plan revisioning actually is starting this evening in relationship to our trying to gather information from our staff and our community on the most appropriate reach out to get involvement. That was one of the questions that we asked in the planning session. What's the most appropriate way to get people involved? So I'm anxious to get the feedback. We're setting sail on that journey. It will take obviously several months for us to give that the due diligence that it deserves. And one of the things that I'll mention on that strategic plan, this is something that is far more than a document that hangs on the wall. It really truly is a blueprint for the work that we do and have been doing in this district. The strategic plan as it exists now took, if I'm not mistaken, almost 18 months to develop. I certainly think we can do the revisioning in less time than that, but it really is something that is very important to us. It guides our work and it guides our vision for the future. So we're setting sail on that journey and looking forward for people to participate, and we'll certainly kick out to every media opportunity how you can get involved in that.
Very good. And since that question came in through social media, we'll remind those who are following us on the live stream and participating in through social media that we'll certainly post all of those opportunities as we do all opportunities for engagement. We've been trying to post them on Facebook and Twitter and have received a very good response. And Mrs. Connect, I'll go to you.
I just wanted to comment a little on the strategic plan. I think while all of the topics that were discussed tonight were very interesting and very valuable, that one really intrigues me the most. I was part of the community group in 2005 and 6 that got involved with strategic planning as a parent at that time. And I think that the work that came out of it has really successfully guided the school district from that time. But we all know very well that it's a totally different world now than it was in 2005 and 2006. And as we face things like an economy that's finally coming out of the worst recession we've ever had, and a new political climate that we've never known before, and educational innovations like Common Core, that now is the time to be looking at a new strategic plan. And I would hope that when the new strategic plan takes form, that it wouldn't, I think the number one drawback of what we did before was that it was a 10-year plan. And I've always thought that a 10-year plan in an organization as dynamic as Peoria School District really probably didn't give us the opportunity to evolve with the changing times. So that would be my recommendation moving forward, that however the next strategic plan shapes up, that it's something that we revisit more frequently.
Very good, thank you. And I know we may have a couple other questions coming in, but before we get to those, Dr. Cruz, I'm not going to let you get away so easy, so I do want to go to you with a question. A couple of our board members, Dr. Santarelli, mentioning Common Core quite frequently. That was one of the breakout sessions tonight, so we know that's something that's of interest to parents. Can you share a little bit about the work that has been done in Peoria so far on the implementation of Common Core, and what is yet to be done for our community?
Absolutely, Mrs. Zeri, I'd be happy to. Common Core is going to change the way we look at education and the way we look at instruction in the classroom, and it will truly prepare our students for the next century. Some of the work that we have done already, our kindergarten, first, and second grade teachers are already implementing the Common Core standards in their classroom this year. So I'm sure parents have noticed that there may be a different look and feel to their report cards coming home, and they may be a little different, a little different to decipher. I would urge you to talk with your teacher, talk with your principals and your assistant principals. They can help guide you, and of course our curriculum and instruction department can always help you with that. Last summer we had probably close to 175 teachers working on curriculum and realigning our curriculum and looking at K-12 curriculum to align to Common Core. So we are gearing up for implementation for next year. We will look at realigning our internal assessments. That work is going on right now. And you will begin to see a difference in classrooms, I believe, next year with our teachers. And lots of professional development, of course, for our teachers this past year, as well as our administrators, so that we are all truly ready to help our kids be successful for that next step.
Very good. Thank you, Dr. Cruz. I know that's a topic of importance, and hopefully we gathered some good feedback from the sessions that we had here today. I'm going to do one last call from our audience, see if anyone wants to be brave and step up to the mic to ask that burning question they may have. And I'm looking to the back to see if we have any additional questions. I think someone coming forward now. So we will go ahead to you with your, can you tell us your name and then state your question?
I'm Georgie Wu. I am a student here at Centennial, and Dr. Santarelli, you mentioned that the national graduation rate is 70%, while the Peoria district is actually 93%. So how do you think our district has managed this success throughout the years?
Very good, thank you. Dr. Santarelli.
That's a great question.
Yeah, Mr. I'll be glad to answer that. And that's a great question, and an answer try to provide a short answer to a fairly complex situation. I think it starts with our curriculum mapping, and that we provide a very articulated curriculum so that it flows from grade level to grade level and takes into consideration any of the learners that are having trouble and providing for opportunities for intervention early on. It also, I think, is very attributed to our hardworking staff, their ability, as I said earlier on. The instructional quality in this district is unsurpassed, in my opinion, and the skills of our teachers continue to be reflected in the accomplishments of our students. So a skilled staff, highly trained, highly dedicated, a supportive curriculum that provides them with the resources and materials to do their job, In addition to that, I think there are some fundamental things that we do differently. I believe the block schedule provides additional opportunities for students in the high school to receive multiple opportunities that may not necessarily be available in other venues. We have intervention programs in the area of reading in the early grades. I'm also an advocate of a K through 8 system because I think it creates the family environment that is so important so that we know our students well in the elementary grades. They enter as kindergarten. In many, many cases, they're with us as 8th graders. We know them for 9 years, so we know how to help them be successful. We know their strengths. We've identified weaknesses, and we have a good collaborative environment where teachers work together across grade levels. I could go on, but I also think that our extracurricular support programs provide wonderful opportunities for people, young people, to be actually engaged and involved. Another support in a K-8 environment, there are more opportunities for that than in a middle school setting. So a rich array of extra and co-curricular activities to help support students. And I'll close with one of the strongest career and technical education programs in the country, certainly one of the stronger ones in the state, where we provide opportunities for students to really attach their learning and make it relevant and meaningful in connecting it to careers. So that's a very short answer to a wonderful question. I could go on, and I'm sure others up here have a part to say as well.
Sure, Mrs. Douglas, we'll begin with you.
I would just say we would be remiss if we didn't recognize the input of parents in our community, that success for their children is very, very important to them. And we have very active, very involved parents, and that's absolutely a key issue.
Mrs. Connect.
I'll briefly elaborate. We just saw, some of us just saw a little speech on that, on why some kids choose to leave school. And they leave school when they don't feel success or they don't feel that they belong. And I think our school district really puts a lot of effort in both of those areas. We want kids to feel successful, and we want them to feel like they belong. And the way that we address those is we offer a broad range of opportunities for kids. So if academics isn't their strength, maybe they're really strong in the arts. And if the arts isn't their strength, maybe they're a good athlete. And while we address all three of those areas, as well as in extracurriculars, there's usually some place that a student can really feel successful. And in terms of belonging, I know that our staff puts a lot of effort and energy and time into cultivating relationships with students. And as Dr. Santarelli said in the beginning of his speech, it's those relationships with students that is so critical to students feeling like somebody cares about them. And when somebody cares about you, you want to please them. You want to perform for them. And I think that formula has been wonderfully successful in this school district. The numbers show it.
Thank
you. I do have to say one more thing, and feel badly that I didn't earlier. We know that the greatest impact on student learning is teacher in the classroom. We also know unequivocally that the second greatest lever in student achievement is the leadership at the school. And I believe that we have some of the finest leaders around that help support and move that graduation rate as high as it is today. Thanks.
Thank you all. Thank you for that question. Very good question. I'm going to do last call in the room for any questions. And I know we have one final question from social media. I'm going to go to Carrie in the back of the room with that question.
Thank you. What plans does the district have to help special education students be successful in college or career?
Very good question. I'm going to look to Dr. Cruz. Do you want to take that one?
Certainly. I'm going to go to the Common Core standards that are coming, and while we talk that there's more rigor, some people would say, oh, well, not for our special education students. Well, certainly for our special education students. We certainly can provide the supports and accommodations needed for those students. A lot of those are already in place in our system. They do take part in so many of our different activities we have on campus, take advantage of our robust CTE programs and our extracurricular programs. But to even scaffold those supports in a more purposeful way for those students so that they truly can achieve that success and have measured to do so. So those things are being planned at the moment in time. Our special education team, led by Mr. Savoy, Mrs. Radke, are a part of our planning and our curriculum work for the implementation of those Common Core standards. So I think our special needs students will be well served.
Very good. Thank you very much. Seeing no further questions in the audience, we have one additional question sneak in there. Please, go right ahead. We'll get your mic turned.
I hear about all these great things happening during the school year. I'm sitting there thinking about, what about summertime? Mm-hmm. The kids lose a lot during the summertime. I know they all need a break, but what about their brain and what are they doing this summer? Do we have any things they can do? Has a district considered doing something for them for the summer, changing the school year a little bit? Or do they have the funding to do that?
I'll take that question. Certainly, we can change the whole calendar up. That's certainly an option. But we do offer lots of summer programs for students. We offer high school. There's a whole list of courses they can come take in the summer. We have eCampus available for those high school students. For our elementary students, we have a summer school that has been housed at Oakwood Elementary the last several years. We also have lots of our Title I summer schools and our ELL summer schools that run very, very intense programming for our students so that skills are not lost over the summer.
Because I do know they have a rec program available during the summertime.
I neglected to mention that we do have a partnership with Peoria, and we do have a summer Parks and Rec program at, I want to say, at almost every one of our schools.
I'm just wondering if there's any education with that, because we do take advantage of that. Mm-hmm. I just wasn't familiar with what you had mentioned. There's something else out there in the summertime?
It's certainly something we could explore.
Okay.
One of the things, if I could just add to that, I know that our board has expressed some interest in pursuing differing calendars. There are a couple of districts that offer a 200-day calendar as opposed to a 180-day calendar. 180-day meaning the number of student days of attendance. And so we're looking at that. There are some challenges associated with funding. You mentioned that. If you add 20 days to a calendar, you hope that you can compensate accordingly. We've certainly not had that opportunity as of late, but certainly there is interest in looking at some differing ideas for that calendar and for those experiences during the summer.
I did forget one thing, Mrs. Erie. I'll put a plug in for our CTE department that offers a very robust summer program for students in our elementary schools to explore some of our career pathways through some of the non-traditional ways. For instance, girls taking woodworking or auto and boys in cooking, and, really getting them exposed to those different pathways, so when they get to the high school and when they get to that 7th and 8th grade year and they experience those, they can make a concerted choice for their course pathway in high school.
Very good. Great information. Great question as well. Thank you. And we post all of those opportunities on the district's website, so you can certainly see all those summer school opportunities and select them there. I also want to mention, because I did hear calendar come up on a couple of occasions, the district does have a calendar committee that meets to make recommendations to the governing board on the school calendar. And they do that based very much off of a survey that goes out to our community. There is still one more day left to take that survey. So if you haven't yet had an opportunity to provide your feedback on our calendar, that is available right from the homepage of our website as well. So we certainly hope that the community will weigh in on that so that the governing board can take that into consideration. Seeing no other questions in the room, I want to thank our governing board members. They are among the most dedicated volunteers that this district has, giving countless hours for the good of the students and the staff in this district. We very much appreciate all that you do. Appreciate you being here this evening. Dr. Santarelli, Dr. Cruz, and Mr. Finn, we also appreciate you and all the insight that you provide to us. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. I want to remind you once again to complete the survey and turn it in For those of you who are joining us online, I'd like to thank you very much for your time this evening as well and for tuning in. We'll be posting all this information and making it available to our community and certainly putting all of your good ideas to work. So with that, have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you.